Now, the 57-year-old Chinese ambassador to Israel was found dead in his local residence this morning, apparently from cardiac arrest. But while an investigation is launched, the issue comes at a time of sudden tensions over China's developing economic ties with Israel and the objections by the United States. Our international affairs correspondent Bianca Zanini has the story.
The massive giant and the tech-savvy junior, and of course, the richest guy in class. Friends with one, less so with the other, keeping a wary eye out, because China and Israel have been growing closer in recent years in trade, diplomacy, tourism, and cooperation on science and culture. China, no longer focusing strictly on the motto, money not meddling, has promised to become increasingly more active in the Middle East.
China hopes Palestine and Israel can achieve peace as soon as possible and live and work in peace. China will make unremitting efforts for this.
And since then, China's influence in the Middle East has only grown. But not everyone is as optimistic about that, especially given Israel's deepening ties with the Chinese. On his one-day visit to Israel last week, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo appeared to take a swipe at China while praising Israel. The Trump administration calling out China for lacking transparency and playing a central role in the spread of the coronavirus pandemic, charges Beijing denies.
You're a great partner. You share information, unlike some other countries that try and obfuscate and hide that information. And we'll talk about that country, too.
The two largest economies in the world fighting over trade. And when it comes to Iran, Washington and Beijing disagree even more. In May 2018, U.S. President Donald Trump pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal made with world powers, including China, to curb Iran's nuclear weapons program. Since then, Washington has applied a strategy of maximum pressure on Iran, slapping devastating sanctions on the country and on any other country doing business with it. As the sanctions hit harder, step by step, Tehran has been breaching the nuclear deal, which is now essentially defunct. But China continues to buy oil from Iran, although at a lower scale, blaming the U.S. for pulling out in the first place. China says it still hopes the U.S. will return to the nuclear deal. The U.S. refuses, and meanwhile, Israel is dancing with both. Bianca Zanini, I-24 News.
Now, for a bit more here, we're joined by our international affairs correspondent, Bianca Zanini. Bianca, thanks for being with us here. Just with so much at stake here, really, between these countries and the tensions that have risen lately, that we're left to wonder if this could be potentially turn into a bigger issue. Has anything officially emerged from either China or Israel?
Well, David, Israel has had quite a busy day today, but the former foreign minister, Israel Katz, did convey his condolences. The embassy was also very cooperative when police arrived and with information. The ambassador was reportedly found unconscious in bed, and the police is awaiting the toxicology report, but for now does not look like they're looking into any of this as something criminal. Now, the ambassador arrived here in Israel in February, just as the corona crisis erupted here. He stayed 2 weeks in quarantine. He didn't have much opportunity to actually do much in his position because of the coronavirus here. But just last week, he did speak in response to U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, as we heard in the report here, to his visit. They did have a response because the U.S. is not happy with Israel and China getting closer, as we heard. And the U.S. is more specifically unhappy with the Chinese presence in Israeli ports, specifically Haifa port. The U.S. also wants Israel to cancel a $1.5 billion Chinese bid to build the largest desalination plant here. And overall, what we're seeing is Israel sort of in between these two giants. And as China is moving into the Middle East and moving to have more influence here, the U.S. doesn't want to lose its most important ally, and he doesn't want them to get too close. He doesn't want to lose his position in this in this friendship, really, with Israel.
Well, certainly a lot at stake there on both sides of the issue, whether with the U.S. or with China, as you mentioned, some of the major economic projects in the works here between the countries. And this really bad timing now for an accident like this or an issue with the ambassador here. Thanks for breaking it down for us and, of course, reporting on the story, Bianca Zanini.